The Bucks, Sixers, and Mavericks are all contenders with major decisions to make. What will James Harden's contract actually look like? Dude's eligible for the biggest deal in NBA history. The Bucks can extend Chris Middleton, but he's in his 30s. Could they actually upgrade from Middleton instead? The Mavericks might say goodbye to Jalen Brunson. The Knicks just hired his dad as assistant coach. I know Jalen was good, but do they really want to lock in this roster as their ceiling going forward? First though, the offseason basics. None of these teams have cap space, and they all have very similar exceptions to the $6.4 million mid-level. However, the Mavs have a juicy $11 million trade exception that they have to use here pretty quick. We will explore who they can trade for. Needs: the Bucks just need bench depth, the Sixers need a backup center, and the Mavericks need a starting center. Draft picks all in the 20s. And the interesting free agents, the Bucks with Pat Connaughton and the Mavs with Jalen Brunson. How did they do last year? The Bucks and the Sixers actually did worse than predicted, but the Mavericks were very good in Jason Kidd's first year. I hope Daryl Morey's watching this because I have the perfect idea for James Harden's future. But first, what about Chris Middleton's future? He can get an extension for 3 years, $153 million. I know some people will say, of course you pay him. Did you see how they struggled against Boston? In the regular season, they ranked 3rd in offense, shot 37% from deep as a team. Without Middleton, dead last in the second round in both. So yeah, they probably beat the Celtics with Chris Middleton, but that totally ignores huge red flags. By the time the new deal kicks in, he will be 33 years old, and Chris is already declining. He shot just 44% from the field last year, tied for his worst ever. 37% from 3, worst since 2018, and he has a ton of miles on his body and has dealt with injuries. Their options are to extend him, to let him play out this contract, or to trade him. But let's be honest, Chris Middleton means a lot more to the Bucks than to any other team, so they're not going to get like a great player back in a trade. I think they have to extend him, but the contract must be less than the max. Something like what ESPN suggests, 2 years, $50 million. The Mavericks have a much tougher decision. Jalen Brunson is a free agent, but that's a problem. But first, do you know what the fastest growing crime in all of America is? It's identity theft. There's a new victim every 14 seconds. But even still, people who get their identity stolen are shocked when it happens. Imagine trying to log into your email only to find that the password was changed hours ago, and then you get activity alerts from your bank account or your credit cards or your crypto accounts. That is why I am excited to partner with Aura, who is sponsoring this video. You may have seen Aura. They are the actual jersey patch sponsor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Aura is identity theft protection, fraud monitoring, a VPN, password management, and antivirus software, all combined into one easy-to-use app. Aura monitors the dark web for your email, passwords, and social security numbers, and sends alerts fast, like right to your phone and your email. And fast is important when it comes to fraud, right? So you can connect your credit and your bank accounts to get notified of any changes up to 4 times faster than Aura's competitors. Their VPN allows you to stay anonymous online by keeping your browsing history and your personal info safe and encrypted. And the antivirus part of things will block malware and viruses before they even infect your devices. So I logged into my Aura dashboard and they found my info on the dark web 5 times. And they'll even tell you the website that the leak happened. So guys, protect you and your family from America's fastest growing crime. Try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if you and your family's personal information has actually been compromised. You can start your free trial at aura.com/amhoops. Also check the link in the description. Thanks so much to Aura for being a sponsor. If they pay him, it locks in this roster going forward. If they let him go though, the roster definitely gets worse next year. He was awesome in the playoffs. So do you pay him, basically saying, all right, a 6'1" guard is our second best player, or do you let him go just hoping to get Luka better help somehow? The teams that can steal Brunson with cap space, the Pistons, the Pacers, the Magic, and the Spurs, but Detroit is basically the only team that needs a guard. But other teams could clear space, like the Knicks. They just hired Jalen's dad as an assistant coach. And I hate to say this, but I would let Jalen go. I know he was amazing last year, but they are looking to maximize Luka. They traded Kristaps Porzingis' contract into 2 smaller contracts that would make another big trade easier to do later. So, the Jazz get Tim Hardaway Jr., Jalen Brunson on a sign and trade, Josh Green, the 26th pick, a pick swap, and the 27th first for Rudy Gobert. The Mavs are Gobert's perfect fit. They need a rim protector, and he failed in Utah because they didn't have perimeter defense to back him up. Dallas still has in this trade Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock, and Maxi Kleber. And they don't have to depend on Rudy for offense. That's Luka's job, and he's surrounded with shooters. This deal could put them in the finals. Utah basically gets back 3 firsts and a couple of good players. It'll be really hard to beat that package. Now, before we get to this huge James Harden decision, the under the radar moves. These are smaller, but really important. You need to know that Pat Connaughton and Brook Lopez can be extended by Milwaukee. The Mavs can extend Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber. If they don't agree on a contract number, those are all crucial role players that could be gone. That could change the playoffs. The Sixers can extend Shake Milton and waive Danny Green. And not enough people are talking about that. I mean, Danny won't be back until maybe the playoffs off an ACL tear at 34 years old. If they waive him, they get under the luxury tax. I know he's still a decent two-way player, but don't be surprised if Philly suddenly cuts Danny Green. But their big decision is James Harden. We all know Daryl Morey is his biggest fan, but is he so delusional to give Harden a 5-year max deal? If he opts out of his 1 year, he could sign 5 years, $270 million. He would make $62 million when he's 38 years old. Oh no. He took 2 shots in the second half of an elimination game. They got rid of Ben Simmons to get basically the same production. If Daryl Morey makes that mistake, Joel Embiid will demand a trade. Maybe not right away, but he is not going to waste his career with the ghost of James Harden. The good thing for Philly is no one else is going to pay Harden huge money. The other teams with cap space are all rebuilding teams. Unless there's a sign and trade, I think Philly can lowball Harden and he'll have no choice. The perfect contract would be what Phoenix gave Chris Paul. CP3 got a $75 million 4-year deal, but really it's just 2 years, $59 million. Those 2 last years are non-guaranteed. They could just waive CP after this next year. He took this deal because it was bigger than just the $44 million player option that he opted out of, but also CP is betting on himself. If he doesn't produce at like 38 years old, the Suns can cut him free and clear. That is what Philly needs to do with Harden. I don't think they can win a chip with Harden, but if they let him go, they will be worse next year. This deal covers their butt, but it also lets Harden act like he got this huge deal. Now, all these teams also can make a move in free agency. They have the $6.4 million mid-level, but Dallas has that $11 million trade exception. Let's talk about who they should target. The Bucks need depth on the wing. They should get Otto Porter Jr. or Thaddeus Young. Both guys are switchable defensively, can be trusted in the playoffs, and are affordable. There's not a lot of options out there, especially for that mid-level, but OPJ and Thad Young would be valuable off the bench. Next, the Sixers need a backup center. Remember when Embiid was injured, they were playing DeAndre Jordan and Paul Reed? Luckily, center is pretty deep this offseason. Kevon Looney. Good luck getting him out of Golden State, though. JaVale McGee, Jeff Green, Hassan Whiteside. The Mavericks need a rim protector, but they can make a trade. The Knicks get the 26th pick and their 2024 second for Nerlens Noel. Bleacher Report says that New York is looking to move Noel. They need a point guard, and they can use this Mavs pick as even more trade ammo to get one. If not, it's a point guard heavy draft outside the lottery, and they can't do better than a first for Nerlens Noel. In Dallas, he defends the rim and is a great pick and lob partner for Luka. They could also go for a double sign and trade with Jalen Brunson and Mitchell Robinson in free agency. We're packing in 3 teams per offseason video so we can get to all 30 before the draft on June 23rd. And then free agency and trades are going to heat up and it's going to be insane. So we're on a deadline, people. So catch up on all of the offseason videos right here.